Hey, what is up? Welcome to another Coffee with AJ Live. Here to just hang out, drink some coffee, get fueled up for the day of kicking butt and taking names, making heavy metal. If you notice, like I mentioned, oh, how do you see it? There, you can see it better that way. The logo, over here. You can get it on a sweatshirt. Yeah, looks sick. It's also on a hat like this. I have like a black hat with the fire colors. But yeah, so there's the merch plug for the day. Check out the Fire from Heaven merch shop. Anybody joining in, feel free to chat with me. Just hanging out, drinking some coffee, and preparing for a day of metal making. A day at the Metal Forge. And I had a kind of had a list of questions I'll pull from while I wait for people to join in the chat. There was one I was gonna look at. So I have this question. How does the escapism of fantasy literature and metal music help you navigate the challenges of the real world? So, for anybody who's a fan, you obviously know like I combine metal music with like fantasy style lyrics, and I've written several fantasy books that are available on my shop as well. But I'm not like, I think escapism is a good thing in a sense. Like, it's kind of like a break from the difficult realities we face every day. Some of us more than others, obviously. But I think it needs to be limited. Like, for example, I'm really bad with video games if I have them, and that's kind of in the sense where escape becomes a bad thing because I'm not engaging in the world around me really when I'm so obsessed in escaping into another world. That's where I think a lot of guys get it wrong. Like, you want to escape for a little bit, but like you spend all your time doing that. It's not very productive for your life right now. You know what I mean? You could be doing things to, change your life for the better, rather than trying to escape all the time. So I think it should be limited, but I think it's also a good thing. And let me go back to the question because I'm getting off on a rabbit trail. But the question is, how does it help me navigate the challenges of the world? I think, for me, in fantasy stuff, stories like Lord of the Rings, especially all those things, like they help me escape, but I also glean things from them. I learn lessons from them, and I take things back. I escape to that world for a little while. I bring things back with me that help me deal with whatever I'm dealing with in my life, in my day to day. Whether that's like, you look at all the stories. They're all stories of like perseverance, enduring through suffering, all those things, and that's they're really popular stories because that's what we all face in a day to day. So that's what I love so much about the fantasy stories. But like the obsession with escaping with it, that's when it becomes like you just want to stay there and you don't want to come back to this world and face your own struggles, face your own demons, start doing something about your life, and something positive, making and taking an active role in your own life to change the circumstances around you. That's what I think fantasy has been most helpful for me, is giving me that break, but it's also arming me to return to the struggles I'm facing, better armed. ready to face them. And same thing with metal music. Like some people might listen to music for an escape or for motivation, things like that. I think they can be several different things. Metal music for me is more, I mean, it's a motivating escape, I guess. Same thing with the fantasy stuff. Like in the mornings, after I do a little bit of reading and stuff like that. Depends on the day. Sometimes I don't feel like reading, but I still should. But after I listen to some music, then I'm more motivated to read. But just sitting and listening to some music. I mean, I listen to music, throughout my day sometimes or at work or whatever. But like just having time where I sit down and listen to music and I just kind of be absorbed in the lyrics and in the song, and I just find I'm like re-energized through that. So that is, I guess, how they help me. Like it just re-energizes me. I glean things from them. Like I'm not just seeking escape. I'm seeking, I guess help in a way, and obviously like to an extent. If you really need help that bad, obviously seek help other ways. But if you just need some motivation, you need some fuel for the fire, that's what it is for me. Like it just keeps me going, fuels me. Not the only thing that fuels me, but as the answer to that question. Anybody joining in, feel free to drop a comment in the chat, bro. I do these to chat with you. Of course, I might be able to do a better time. If you're watching this afterwards and there's a better time for me to do these, let me know. If I get enough people to say a specific time, then I'll do it. Or around a general, time. Like maybe evenings would be better to do these. Whatever. I'm fine with drinking coffee in the evenings. I'm just kidding. Well, sometimes I do. It doesn't really hinder my sleep for me. Like I can drink coffee in the afternoon and like literally right after, I could totally take a nap if I wanted. But yeah, I'm just planning on working on a song tomorrow. What day is today? Tomorrow's Thursday, or today's Thursday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So tomorrow have sick new song dropping. It's called When Legends Rise. And it's part of an instrumental series I'm going to be doing off and on. Where basically I'm just guitar rhythm wise they're pretty simple, and taking a little bit more of a backdrop, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to do is work on my lead guitar playing and writing. So like the goal was to make a shred song, like literally just soloing the whole song or doing leads, that kind of thing. So that's what it is. It's like 4 straight minutes. It's not all shred, but like, soloing, leads, stuff like that. That was, what I was going for. So I'll be doing those off and on for singles. And next week, I'm working on a song that is going to be on the upcoming album. Well, I'm not sure where I want to place it. I think it'll be on the upcoming album. Yeah, it will be. It's just different because most of the album I was trying to keep kind of cohesive using my 8 string. This guy. But I used the 7 string for that song, so it's just going to sound different. But I'll probably do a few songs that way. So it's not just like one song out of the whole album. Maybe a few of them. Well, just how this like album keeps growing, I want to keep adding songs to it. Maybe it'll just be part 2 of the album, and I'll use all 7 strings, so it's like somewhat cohesive. But I think it's kind of fun to throw in some different sounding stuff here and there, I want the album to be like cohesive, but it's also fun to just do things differently a little bit. So that'll be in there. It's called, well, I wasn't going to call it, I forget what I was going to call it, but now I'm calling it Devil Desecrator. So, it's going to be sick. And I already got the lyrics done this morning, so I'm going to go record the vocal tracks after this. And work on adding some of the epic elements to the song, like some strings maybe, some choirs, some other stuff. And work on mixing it and mastering it, getting it ready and up, ready to release soon. But if you're a Patreon member, you'll get access to that as soon as it's finished, which will probably be the end of the day, if this day goes well. Well, no, I'm gonna have to. I only got till noon today. I got like 5 hours. I'm doing a live stream right now, so that'll probably be like 4 hours. Maybe. Might get it done. But, yeah, there's that. That I'm working on. I need to work on the book some more. I'm trying to open up my questions. Where did they go? I was debating on trying something different with my live stream setup. Because my computer just gets so overwhelmed when I'm trying to run so much software. Because I have a dinosaur for a computer, apparently. It is pretty old whenever I think about it. Maybe for a Christmas present I'll get a new computer. I'm just kidding. I should just invest in one. We'll see. I definitely need one. I've been talking. You guys have probably been like sick of tired of listening to me talk about like I just need to get a new computer. I've been talking about that for like 5 years probably. No, I'm just kidding. Not 5 years, but probably like 1 or 2 now. If I just I could probably just update a couple of things and it would work great. It's just always something like when I'm like hyper focused on getting something done, I'm always bad with like anything else. Whenever I'm focused, I am like tunnel vision focused. Like I don't see anything else other than what I'm trying to do, and that's just like the part that I'm learning. Like I need to get better with is like at least learning to shift my tunnel vision from different things, like especially now that I'm like doing music stuff full time. Like there are other aspects to the business that I gotta tend to that I can't neglect. So trying to use laser vision focus, but gotta learn to shift it to different things other than just making music, because obviously I gotta sell the music and reach more people, get music to other people's ears, so I can keep making music. And so that's the goal, is like I want people to hear it and be inspired by it, like what I was just talking about. Like what metal music is for me is like that, it kind of just is a bit of an escape, and it's like motivating, and just arms me to attack my day. You know what I mean? It's what it is for me. Not the only thing that fuels me or gives me reasons, to work and make more metal music. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them, and something that's very motivating, especially if you just get up and it's like one of those days you're dragging, like crank up. I'm trying to think of a really good motivating band. Wage War is probably a good one, depending on your taste. They're ones I like to crank up, to really get me fired up. Just because I don't know, deathcore is really good, it depends on the band. You know, deathcore is something I listen to more of like a, to hear like the just to hear all the instrumentalism and the I don't know, just the design of the music. But like metalcore is something I listen to more of like that's motivating and really fires me up. Like because of its like it's a little more simplistic, so it's less to think about when you're listening. At least if you're a musician and you have really good advanced ears and you know all that's going on. Like just the simplicity is like it's something about it. It's just more motivating for me. It just fires me up. I like deathcore, but like I said, it depends on the band and the song. Deathcore is almost like for me something I used to like get in. It's gonna sound weird, but like a meditative state. And it's probably gonna sound really weird to like Christian fans that are listening, but listen to me, okay? I like I believe in like biblical meditation where it's like you're chewing on something, like you're thinking about something. It's not like you're trying to empty your mind. That's not what I'm talking about. Like it just helps me get into a state where I'm really focused on thinking about something because it's almost like really good like background because I was literally just saying there's so much going on that it's like more of something I listen to not to think about something, but it is. Um, it's one of those, one or the other. It's something I listen to because I genuinely like really enjoy the musical writing, the vocals, the lyrics and everything. But it's also something I use. Like I'll just put it on and repeat a song over and over, like something like that's very atmospheric, like symphonic deathcore is very atmospheric. Like I was just listening to God Killer by Awakened Providence while I was working on a song I was working on the lyrics for. So it's like even songs with lyrics, I'll do sometimes like bands like Shadow Intent, they have instrumental versions of their songs. So that's probably even better. But I think the atmospheric deathcore, like I use to like create an atmosphere, and like while I'm like thinking about something or really chewing on something, you know what I mean? That's what meditation is for me. It's like deep thinking about something. So, symphonic deathcore is great for that. Or probably any, you any symphonic metal is probably going to be. I think metal bands that create like atmosphere, that's like one of the aspects I really like in metal music. It's creating that atmospheric effect. Metalcore so much doesn't really need that to me. Like it's more of like meant to be motivating. I can sometimes use the metalcore to like get into that where I'm just like really thinking about something, if you know what I mean. Like what I was just talking about in deathcore. But metalcore is something like again, it's like something firing up, energizing, like. And those aren't the other two genres I listen to, but main ones. I'm a core kid, okay? Anybody joining in the chat, feel free to leave a comment. I'm just here to hang out. I was just talking about metalcore and deathcore. But that's what I think is really great about deathcore. It's like especially a lot of modern deathcore. A lot of them seem to have that symphonic aspect with all the different orchestras or just sounds sick. It's freaking awesome. Symphonic, like I wish that a lot of these symphonic deathcore bands like were around when I was first listening to deathcore and death metal. Because I was listening to more just like symphonic metal. I thought it was cool because of the strings and stuff, but I thought it was kind of boring music wise, like with the guitars and stuff. Like symphonic metal is kind of meh for me. And of course, it depends on the band. Some bands do it really well, and got some great riffage in there, but other bands like they just very, very simple. Almost like it's more like a, to me, like some of the early symphonic metal I was listening to is more like rock with some symphonic stuff. Like it wasn't much different than like Skillet. When you think about it, like Skillet uses those symphonic stuff, like strings and stuff. They've been doing that for a long time. Um, Especially in some of their early stuff, like Comatose and Rebirthing. Is that what it's called? Rebirth or Rebirthing? Whatever. Some of their stuff has really cool strings and stuff. That's what a lot of symphonic metal was like that I was listening to. Like maybe it had like a shred solo at the end, which was cool. Not a lot of riffs. Riffs are neglected in metal, okay? Modern metal's getting a lot better at it, but like they were neglected for a while. Like when I was first getting into metal, and when I went through like a hardcore like core phase, metalcore phase, like bands I were listening to were like I would never listen to again now. Like they're just boring. And I remember even like I would do these videos because I used to have a Christian metal channel. I still have it. I just don't post much on it. Sharing Christian metal bands, and every single song I shared was literally of the breakdown. And then I would get crap from people like, "These guys can't even write. It's just like open string breakdowns." I was like, "Well, that's my favorite part for one. For another, you probably have a point because most of the song was like that." Some really good metalcore bands though that are still around, like Phineas. Those guys freaking bring it. They've always been that way too. Always bringing sick riffs. Trying to think of another good one. Those are one of the main ones I've listened to for a long time. Should pull up my playlist. I've been listening to The Browning a lot lately. You guys ever heard of them? I feel like some of you have. Kind of this band that uses a lot of like kind of techno-y stuff. I've been listening to them a lot. I don't know. I knew of them before, and would listen to them once in a while. It just wasn't it for me. But lately, like I really like it. So I've been jamming those guys. I'm going through my playlist here. Right, you guys around whenever like the band Unearth came out? Like they were kind of popular for their song "My Will Be Done." It's like the sweeping in the beginning. They had like a lot of great lead guitar stuff too. But they were almost like they were like metalcore, but more on like the hardcore side. You know what I mean? Like the more of like that hardcore sort of beat down kind of stuff, but with like leads. They were an old band I used to listen to that I remembered the other day when I was working on this playlist. And I was like, I need to add those guys. Because I used to jam them. Got some cool stuff. Lots of good music out there. I'm so glad. Like, sometimes it's like, you look at the world and just everything, like, and you're just like, why couldn't we just live in a simpler time? But also it's like, it's pretty great living nowadays, you know? Like, we shouldn't be complaining as much as we do. Like, all the sick metal music we have to listen to, I probably shouldn't be sitting back because you might not be able to hear me. Like, we just have, and just technology is so advanced. Like, it's just great. It's a great time to be alive, regardless of all the chaos. um, you ignore the news for one. That'll probably help. I mean, keep an eye on things, but you don't have to be absorbed in the news all the time. You know, that's part of like what makes things so chaotic, living nowadays. Like, I'm not saying be ignorant. I'm just saying you don't need to be obsessed so much with it. Like, they're, both sides of the media are at fault to a point. You know what I mean? Like, at least in the United States, like, it's always like the left versus the right, and just a bunch of political BS. And like, it's just you don't you don't need to be like hearing that all the time. It's you could still know what's going on in the world without having to be absorbed in the media. Yep, you're very right. It helps a lot. You're not so absorbed in the things like that and woe is me, the world is ending kind of thing, conspiracy theory crap. It's a pretty good time to be alive. We have a lot of great things to enjoy. I mean, sometimes I wish I could just live in a simpler time, but other times I'm like, it's pretty good to live now. Like, I can make a living in my own studio making music, like, it's not that bad. Yep, very right about that. The left and right, both two sides of the same base system coin. Very true. It's I was thinking about writing a story, where kind of like the main idea is there's a castle, there are two princes, one comes out on the left side, one comes out of the right side, and they draw a crowd and start, talking crap about each other, and then like at the end of the day they both laugh at how they were getting people, to be divided against each other and everything, and I don't know. It might make something good. It might make a good story. I don't know. That was just my basic idea for it. To kind of as an allegory for how the news is, the right and the left. But yeah. But man, it's crazy. Yeah, I should. I got the idea written down. I'm trying to finish another book, that's like an allegory that'll go with my next album. That's what I'm trying to finish next. But I also have had like several other ideas for stories that have started, and I get kind of like I never get anything done because I have so many ideas. So I've just got to be disciplined at like focusing on one so that I can get the others done as well. So I got it written down, the idea. So hopefully get to it sometime. Man, I say this all the time. Invader Coffee is the way to go. It's the best coffee you'll ever drink. It's so good. It's worth the price. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like with everything, music projects, book projects, even like house projects and stuff like that. Like I get so bad, like I never get anything done. So then I go to the other extreme where I'm just like literally like tunnel vision, hyper focused on something, and then I don't get anything else done. So I'm like, that's one thing I'm trying to get better at is like getting, kind of having like a more well-rounded focus, I guess. Yep. Working for balance. Not easy, but worth the struggle. definitely worth the struggle. Man, about 30 minutes. This went by fast. But I'm probably going to go and get to work on a song. And anybody watching, let me know, like, what is the best time for you for me to do these? And based on, you know, the comments I get, I'll try to get a better time frame where I do this. And just let me know what times would be good for me to do this. What time is best for you? Kind of trying to do these things daily. I may not do them on Sundays, for sure not on Mondays and Tuesdays, but the rest of the week I will do these. So let me know what time is a good time for you. And yeah, learn how to balance or juggle real good. Yep. But I'm gonna end the live stream, and thank you so much for joining me. I plan on live streaming a studio session today, possibly. That's the goal, but we'll see. And I will see you later. Fate to the grave. Thanks for joining. 7:38 now, right now. Okay, well, whatever time is best for you, Brittany, let me know. And I'll see you all later. Sorry you missed this one too. But give me just whatever is a good time frame for you, let me know. And I'll try to work more towards that so that we can have more people to chat with on these. And Faith to the grave, thanks for joining in as well. I will see you guys later. Thanks for joining. Stay metal.